I think the other hang-up for me on Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is that he doesn't have that, like, genius quality to him. You know what I mean? Like Spider-Man, oops, past the tower here. He just, I don't know, they just didn't add a lot of the science-y elements of Peter that you saw in the comics to that storyline. And then there's some really cheesy lines in that movie. Like, we just watched 2 the other day, which is widely considered the best out of the original trilogy. And it's good. There's just some really cheesy lines that I just could not get past. But we'll see. I'm pretty pumped because I took a good chunk of time to get them, like 3-4 hours. But I got tickets for my 8-year-old and I to go see No Way Home opening night rather. So figured it was a perfect time to hop into Spider-Man and get myself pumped. Oh, there's a crime here. Yeah, let's do it. Might as well. Break up the monotony of doing these towers a little bit. Ooh. It's really cool, this game. So obviously Spider-Man's not known for killing people, right? If you knock, I'll see if I can do it here. Oops, no. If you knock them off the building and they start falling off the building, there's actually a web that comes up like off of them and zips them to the building so they don't die, which I thought was just one of those small little details that was interesting, you know? That you don't even think about it until you see it, and you're like, oh, that makes total sense. We're going up through, I think this is Queens up in this area. And the other thing that I really like about this game is I really like their rendition of New York City. I think there are 2 games that did New York City really well. For me, personally, it's the first Division movie, which I think might nail it a little closer to, at least the feel of it, a little closer to than this one did. I think this New York City is really well put together. It's just a little too clean. Streets are very clean. Everything's very clean, and that's just not New York City. So we'll see. I think in the trailer for the new Spider-Man movie that the city does look a little dirtier, you know, on the streets. There's, you know, stuff all over the place. So see if that's something they change in the sequel. But outside of that, I think they really nailed the aesthetic of New York City and the feel of being in New York City in this game.
Spider-Man, the situation's under control.
Right. Yeah. That's another thing for the Arkham series is. So that seems to be a thing that Batman worries about more, not killing people. I don't know that I really ever remember Peter even mentioning it in any of the comics. I'm sure it's out there that he's, but I just thought it was a cool touch to the game that, you know, that you knock somebody off the building and there's a little web that comes and zips them back. Oops, I'm going the wrong way here. Zips them to the building so they don't plummet to their death, which I thought was a cool addition. Right, Bio. Yeah, it's just a little too clean. You know what I mean? Whereas I think the Division nailed it, especially wintertime in New York City. I think they nailed beautifully in that game. So. Yeah, I saw that in the trailer. They did mention it. You're right. Yeah, I think that it's weird though because like they say that all those villains died at the hands of Spider-Man, But I don't think Doc Ock technically died by the hands of Spider-Man. I think he essentially kills himself at the end of the movie, right? So I know I'm interested in what they're gonna do with this new Spider-Man No Way Home, because I'm not necessarily somebody that really likes the path that they've taken for Peter in those movies. I think the action's fantastic. I think the villains are really good. I just hate, and I've said it multiple times on Show Boys, I just hate the love affair that he has with Tony Stark, and the love affair that all his villains have with Tony Stark. It just becomes a little annoying where Mysterio is out to get Tony Stark, so he's going after Spider-Man. Vulture got screwed over by Tony Stark, so he's going after. Just tell a Spider-Man story. And then as soon as I saw Doctor Strange in the trailer for No Way Home, I was like, oh man, they're doing it again. Like, they just are incapable of telling a Spider-Man story without the help from another Avenger from the MCU, and I don't think he needs it. He doesn't need it. You know, I said on the stream that Kraven's Last Hunt would have been the perfect story to tell for this, now that his identity has been revealed by Mysterio at the end of Far From Home. And they are seemingly not doing it. But Spider-Man 2, the game, sequel to this game we're playing right now, I believe is definitely going to do it, because he's certainly the one in the trailer talking. So, so that kind of made me feel a little bit better, because I'd love to see a live action version of that story, because it's one of my favorite stories in all of comics. But I would also probably enjoy playing through the story more than watching it. So we'll see. They've only shown 5 villains in this trailer for this new movie. I think that there's obviously a 6th one in there. If anybody knows anything about Spider-Man, the Sinister Six is a big group in the comics, in the animated series, everything, in this game too. So I think there's probably a 6th one they're not showing. I just don't know who it could possibly be. I also found it kind of odd that
all units, we have a vehicle pursuit in progress.
The new movie is taking villains from the old Spider-Man movies, right? So the original trilogy and the 2 Amazing movies. But I don't see any of Tom Holland's villains in this. Now, I know Mysterio allegedly died at the end, but I think Vulture would have been, you know, break him out of prison or something. It would have been cool to see some of his villains in this movie. Maybe we will. We'll see. You know, it's one of the longest Spider-Man movies, if not the longest, at 2 hours and 28 minutes, I think, is the runtime that they released. So, I think we got one more tower here. So, you know, they've only shown, even with the 2 trailers, they've only shown, you know, a couple minutes of the movie. So,
officers needed in Central Park.
I like the live action Into the Spider-Verse idea, but we'll see if they execute it properly. Also was pretty amped for the Into the Spider-Verse sequel that they released the trailer for, or like a teaser for it yesterday, Across the Spider-Verse, showing off Spider-Man 2099, which was kind of teased at the end of that movie. Okay, can I get Yuri on the phone here? Maybe? Did we do them all? I think we did. Yeah, buddy. So we'll head over. I'm going to put this suit on. This is Insomniac's suit they made for the game. I think it's pretty cool looking. White Spider is an odd choice, but I think it works pretty well. I've got all the suits unlocked, including all the DLC suits. So we'll be frequently moving through these suits. throughout the game because I cannot. I have ADD when it comes to the suits. Scarlet was always one of my favorite characters in the comic, so I'll probably be using that one a lot. Homecoming suit I'm a big fan of. I think it's just the perfect looking MCU Spider-Man suit. This suit I wish I liked. I just don't like this big giant blue plastic spider piece on the back of it. Yeah, Bio, the thing that really annoys me about this is prior to the game, they had mentioned the Scarlet Spider suit and how the actual hoodie is a separate piece and kind of flows by itself, but you can't put the hood up,
And that's that.
which drives me nuts because
Now repaired.
Scarlet wears this hood up in a lot of the comics. I thought it would have looked really cool to have that hood up. Now, maybe it was a
Fine.
you know, a
but make it
problem
quick.
with the way that the hoodie was built or
The
something,
danger
but
close.
it just seems like an odd choice. I was hoping they'd add it into the remaster, but they didn't. And if they did, I don't know how to do it. But I'm pretty sure they didn't. So, let's rock. This suit looks really, really cool at night. So we might be rocking that one for a good chunk of the stream. I just think it's so cool. I really wish that Insomniac would add in the kind of cell shading filter they did with Uncharted 4, where you can make the whole world cell shaded. So you could play like a cell shaded New York City with this suit. I think it would look awesome. But maybe in the sequel, they can add it in this one. So, and then this is, I think these 3 suits here were added for the remaster. The original Amazing Spider-Man Andrew Garfield suit from the first movie. This one, which is horrifyingly hideous. I don't know why anybody would want, but it's there. And then this one, which is kind of an armored version of the Insomniac suit that they built for the game. So, for now, we're going to go with Insomniac.
But between Spider Cop's reckless intuition
to
and
the
the
lab
Chief's determined
to
plan,
talk to
they got the
Dr.
job done.
Octavius.
Aw, that's kind of sweet.
A pairing of opposites, like peanut butter and chocolate, or breakfast for dinner. The two
Thought it was
work
kind of
together.
And we're done. Talk to you later, Spider Cop.
She's coming around, right? Yeah, definitely.
Thought it was kind of funny that in the trailer for No Way Home, they made fun of Otto Octavius's name. And they kind of laugh at him when he says the name, but seriously, that sunset though. Oops. So this mission, it's kind of different in New Game Plus. You get a cutscene removed from New Game Plus. I'm not sure why they did it, but they removed a cutscene from this specific mission that shows Otto Octavius leaving a letter for Peter about improvements to make for the spider suit. And that's what this suit comes from, which is his improvements. Not sure why they removed it. Super strange removal, but I always like to put that suit on because there's a really cool cutscene at the end of this mission that shows off that suit.
Looks like Doc's gone for the night. Time to sneak in some spider work.
Unfortunately, Bio, they did not add the Spider-Man Unlimited suit in this game. There are a couple suits that I found odd that weren't in this. They do not have the black and white symbiote suit. Now, I know the studio came out and said, we feel it's important to tell the story behind that suit. That's why it's not in this game, which I get, and I think they're going to tell it, obviously, in the new one with the appearance of Venom in the trailer. So we'll get it in that game. I just find it odd that they removed it, but it makes sense. I just wish it was in this game because it's like one of my favorite suits. But yeah, there's no unlimited suit. And there's some odd ones that they added in, like Cyborg Spider-Man. They added in the bag, you know. This is from a Spider-Man comic, and I can't remember what happens. He loses his suit, and he joins up with the Fantastic Four and borrows one of their suits and puts a bag over his head. There's no Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit, which I found was weird. Now, it's kind of close to a lot of the other ones. But they did ended up adding in the suits from Far From Home, which are this one and the stealth suit here. So I hope that here in the coming weeks we're going to get the addition of the new suits from the new movie. We'll see. I know they're busy on Spider-Man 2, but hopefully they'll take a brief moment to add those suits in.
Parker! Dr. Octavius, what you got there?
Chinese. If I know you'd be here, I would have... What are you working on?
Oh, just a side project.
Of course. It's you.
I don't know what
Oh,
you're...
come on, Parker. It's obvious.
Let me explain.
I only wish you told me sooner.
I wanted to, but I was afraid that if word got out, my family might be in danger.
Huh. Yes. I guess if you design his equipment, you're bound to be a target too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't worry. Your secret's safe. Well, I'll leave you to it.
That should do it. Excuse me, late for work! Coming through.
Looking good, Spidey!
Hello, New York! Ha-ha! New suit, same old me.
Yeah, that's so that's it's odd that they cut the cut scene that shows you kind of what happens there. So Peter ends up repairing his suit. At the beginning of the game, you have this suit on, which is like the damaged, battle damaged suit from fighting Fisk. So you go there to repair your suit.
Spider-Man, I think I figured out.
And for whatever reason, they cut the scene out where Peter goes to sleeps there after that cutscene with Octavius there, and wakes up and finds a
that shut down
note
when he was
with
arrested?
improvements
No,
from
it's one of his
Octavius
legitimate
for his
businesses.
suit, and that's
Multiple investors.
what leads to
can't
that
act without
cutscene,
cause.
and it's the first
But now
time you
you've
get
got
this
that, right?
suit.
That's why I'm hoping you can keep an eye on the locations. Tell me if you see
But I'm
anything
not sure
suspicious.
why they
You
cut
got
it
it.
out of the new Game
I'll be your
Plus.
nosy
It
neighborhood
doesn't make too much
Spider-Man.
sense. Maybe because you can wear any suit you want into that cutscene. Now, last time I played this before, I went about 30% of the way through the game before I decided to restart here and stream it for Showboys. I had like a terrible suit on for that cutscene. I can't remember. It might have been like one of these suits, and it just doesn't look right in that cutscene where it's showing off the suit. So,
Gotta find
all right, what do we need to get here? Is it impact web? I think it's impact web. Yeah. Okay.
Awesome. Doc could be proud.
So these are the bases that I was talking about. This is kind of your first foray into these bases. It's kind of the tutorial for them, if you will.
Sleep it off.
So these ones are kind of weird because you can stealth this entire thing. However, at the end, the enemies find out that you're there anyway. And then you have to beat several waves of them.
Boss runs a tight ship. He does not like screw-ups. We had this.
Got trouble. Can anyone hear me?
Now, if you notice the guys that have danger over top of their names, if you take those guys out, other enemies will see. See how this guy has a gray safe on it? If you get that gray safe, you can take them down without anybody noticing and spotting you. I know I went pretty quick there with the safe, but that's the gray safe. So this guy obviously has no enemies around him. That's why he's like that. This guy, his buddy just walked away, so I'm going to web him up. And we'll hop over here and get this guy. Like I said, if I manage to do this all stealth, you'll see that it doesn't really matter. You just essentially get the first wave for free. Because they come and attack you anyway. Now, sometimes you can't web up. There's two different web attacks from stealth. There's the perch, which I just did with these two guys. And then there's the strike, where you actually fly to them and take them out. Let's see if we can get this guy.
Open fire.
All right. Well, either way, we're gonna have to fight these guys anyway. So.
Keep him on the ground.
Okay, more one wave. So I try to save up my, the bar below my health in the top left corner there, the green bars, those are what you can use to take down enemies and heal yourself. So I try to save it for the last wave, because then I can just barrel through and take out
Shut your mouth. Get him for you.
a good chunk of the enemies. Oh! Almost got hit there. Now this is the thing that's annoying for this first one here, is it actually makes you use your suit power. And unfortunately, there's nobody around me right now, and my suit power is Web Blossom, so it's literally going to be wasted for this here. So,
Dang, looks like they called their buddies.
occasionally, if you're in the right area, you can get a couple guys coming out of that door.
House rules. Leave your shoes at the door. Unless you're not wearing socks, in which case, buy some socks already.
It refills decently quick. I think it depends on the skills that you have, and I think I have the one skill where it increases quicker with web attacks, which are attacks like that, where you shoot the web. So I probably really could have used it and had it refilled by that final wave, but...
Anyone want to
Okay,
surrender?
final wave.
No?
We'll take a couple guys out here. Come on, down here. And I think we have our suit power up too. Oh, I hate these guys. There are a lot of specific enemies that are really annoying in this game. These shield guys can be annoying because you have to attack them and then dodge underneath them to be able to damage them. And then there are some enemies late game that are very annoying that I don't do very well with, even not on ultimate difficulty. So